Hey, Terry Bean, another great episode of Business Growth Time. Today, we're going to talk about part 2 of the big converted event that Janet E. Johnson went to. You all know my friend, my pal, my co-host, my former high school buddy, Janet E. Johnson, right? Where the E stands for entanglement. Ooh, it's so spooky. It's almost Halloween, and I like it.
Yeah. When they actually listen to the show, the recording of the show, it probably won't be past Halloween.
It'll be like, January 1st or whatever, but it won't be that long. But it's kind of fun. Someone might, you never know when people
entangled. Here's my analogy for entangled. I like that terminology because I think the internet we get entangled in the internet too.
Oh gosh, we can get entangled. I have a big entanglement going on in Facebook right now. I put a couple of people that are on adverse sides of the political thing that we have.
I thought I wasn't even touching nothing.
Big. It's like old Batman movie, man.
You are a teaser. I'm like, I'm not going there.
Oh, it's horrible. I hope I didn't really mean to do that, but I am not surprised that is what happened.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what ended up happening, but I saw the post. So, yeah, I can't even imagine. But
brutal. So, anyway.
By the time we listen to this, we might know who the president is. So that will be pretty interesting.
Yeah, you know what? We probably will. Eek. You know what? We lose either way. I don't really care. We lose either way. Period. End of story.
We do, and we've got to live with it, and we've got to move forward, whatever happens, and hope for the best. For our kids.
And move forward together, right? Yeah. And we're so far apart now. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama. I'm just kidding, dude. I don't think it's Obama. We're this far apart. All right.
I don't know whose it is, but yeah, it's crazy. Crazy world. So
I blame
our internet's a crazy world. The whole deal is it's all crazy. And what's interesting to me, Vine, like speaking of news, this will be 2 weeks old, but Vine got shut down yesterday.
Really?
Twitter said bye-bye Vine. So it was so funny because my 12-year-old heard about all these stars on Vine and said, can I get the app? And he had just put it on his phone. He loved it. And I came up to him like, Vine's going to be dead. You might as well just delete it now. Yep.
Really?
It is interesting because a lot of there's some famous people off of Vine, but that teaches you, here's a lesson to learn. Do not ever count on one social media platform to be your home. Because if you do, and something like that happens, your entire existence and your entire business is gone.
Gone, done. And what, Twitter just laid off, 9% or 19%? I think it was 9% of their workforce, right? So laid off, done.
I know.
So, but interestingly enough, they beat earnings at the same time. So they laid off 9%, but they actually beat what they thought they were going to earn. Mm-hmm.
All I heard was the stocks had dropped quite a bit, though.
Yeah,
I don't have stock in that one. I have stock in Facebook, so I don't really care what happens with Twitter necessarily. But Facebook, you keep going up. I did a good purchase there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so
we better get to the meat of this because we had show 1, right?
We did show 1, yeah, and it's coming out soon, and this one will come out after. See how that works? Show 2 after show 1. Crazy.
Well, I don't know what show number that was. 67, I believe, is what that was. So we're getting up there. We're getting older. We're aging.
That's episode 67 episode. Really? Gosh, is it really? That's a lot.
I know.
Well, we're good.
Yeah.
We're doing well.
And that's we even started over again. So we're cruising. Definitely cruising. So let's get into it because I want to talk about the rest of the converted event today. This was the converted event by Leadpages that was in Minneapolis in October. And really, this was just a lot of meat. This is the most meaty conference I think I've ever been to. I've started taking some action. I've actually taken some action with clients on things I've learned. I've started working on some of my pieces. And you know what? I was just going through the notes again. I'm like, oh, here's some things I need to do. And Terry, it will be put on I'm sure you're going to go, these are some things. And so I hope you guys, because that was one thing learned,
Not you guys, just you. Oh, right. Yes.
Wait, what's your name?
Ernie.
Ernie. Terry, do other people think this is Ernie? Do you think this is as funny as we do?
Ernie, are you laughing? Because
I don't know.
We are falling over. And I don't know if you noticed this, Ernie, E-word.
I know. Oh, you see, perfect. So Ernie, you are going to learn a lot about how to create a landing page is the first one. So I don't know if you guys create landing pages at all, but when you're bringing people from an ad to somewhere, you need some sort of landing page. I have a lot of landing pages with Leadpages that draw people into free sales pages, that kind of thing. That's what a landing page is. It's just a one page. Some of them are super long. But let's talk about what happens when you convert over from an ad. A lot of people are having their Facebook ads go to their landing page. Okay, you just did it, Terry's an ad with LinkedIn and with Facebook. It went to some sort of page. It wasn't a landing page necessarily, but the biggest thing that we need to remember, and I've done this where I was on the end of the ad, and then the website person was on the end of the landing page, and I didn't check it enough, and we had a ton of traffic, but there was no conversion. And then when we checked it, we realized that, you know what, these weren't the same thing. So you need to keep your promise, and you need to make sure that match the colors and match the exact models. So if you have a person, like I'm on a picture and I'm promoting something of me and I'm on the picture, on the landing page, I should be on it and have the same colors, the same branding is, so that it's mirroring what they're seeing when they come in, because otherwise it's going to be like, what did I just click on and where am I? So that's very important. So that's one thing to remember. And then the other thing that I think is a biggie for a lot of people, think about your button on your call to action. So what does that button say? The default for most emails is submit. And this presentation, and I didn't even give the name, but said, do not put submit. Put the call to action on the button. So for instance, if I want them to download my guide, I would put download your guide now, download guide now, or download guide here, or something like that. The actual call to action should be on that button. There's a lot more pieces to it. This is Brian Massey. I'm not sure how to say his name. Massey.
Yeah, you got it.
And he has a company called conversionsciences.com/blog. You can learn all about this. So that was his. Few good tips that I pulled out that I need to do myself.
I think it's so important, right, that the branding's got to be consistent, because as soon as you go from one spot to another and it doesn't look the same,
yeah,
like, whoa, did I get lost? Am I, because we're so visual.
Yep.
We are such visual communicators and learners. So that's the first thing we're going to notice. I love that tip. So consistent branding, and absolutely the call to action being clear and specific and telling people what to expect. If we don't do a good job of leveling that expectation, people don't know why to click the button, so they're not going to click it. They're like,
submit. What am I submitting to?
That's if we have our future overlords as president. We'll have to submit.
Exactly. We're submitting. We don't like that word, so don't use the word submit. I'm not a fan of it. All right, so now Derrick Halpern. He's the one we've talked about in the last one that really turned my business to looking at it a lot differently. There are actually two people in the conference that really made me look back at my own business and completely change what I'm focusing on in the future. Derrick Halpern owns Social Triggers. That's his company. And he basically talked about not using the same message to the same people. So he was talking a lot about how we have different products, for instance. So looking at myself, I was looking at my Social Strategies 101 training program. That program has a lot of different pieces. But when you sit and target the same audience, it dries up. You lose the sales. So he was saying, you don't need more programs. You just need more funnels, more people to target. And when it dries up or you're not making the sales, then you just go, okay, what other parts of the program could I be funneling people in? So maybe it's that I'm first funneling in the basics, because it is the basics. So I'm funneling in brand new people that know nothing about social media. But then there's Facebook ads. So maybe we funnel them in through Facebook ads. There's even email marketing. There's a lot of different pieces where, so then I could target the people that use Constant Contact and use the email marketing to bring them in. So there's so many different pieces. And it was a couple people that said, you don't always need more programs. You just need to change your funnels. So that was big.
Interesting. So I guess maybe a nice analogy would be look at your product like one of those big megaplex movie theaters that have 18 different cinemas, and each cinema's got a different movie going on, and that movie will appeal to a different audience. So advertise the different movies.
Yes.
Right? You've got one big building, right? And you're trying to get people to the big building, but different people are going to be attracted to different things inside of the building. That's a really cool idea, right? And so just create a bunch of different doors into your product.
Yep. Different fun, and you are exactly right. So in terminology of internet marketing, it would be funnels. So you have different funnels going to that same, so the broad funnels going down to, if you're watching, I was showing the funnel.
She made the universal symbol for funnel, which evidently is a funky V that goes down into a tube.
Exactly. And the other thing he really talked a lot about was the less they know, the more broad you want to make your messaging. So for instance, if I was bringing somebody in that, and I was targeting the Constant Contact, AWeber, MailChimp people, they know about email marketing. So we're talking to them, we can talk to them in that terminology. But people that have never built an email list and don't even know that, we would have to talk to them in a different terminology. So you can make it more broad based on that. So that's something. So the less they know, the more broad you need to go.
I was at a pitch competition for entrepreneurs yesterday that they were at TiCon Midwest, and one of the guys got done and he was getting feedback that said he lost the audience. And so here's what happens. When you're an expert, you speak like an expert, right? Yes. You use the terminology that experts use and that people in your inner circle use. And you have to sound like you know what you're talking about to people that know what you're talking about. And you have to sound like you know what you're talking about to people that have no idea what you're talking about. But in order to get them to understand it, you've got to communicate in their language. You have to be bilingual.
Love it. Exactly. Elementary. Yep.
Elementary, my dear.
Yep. And that's where my elementary education comes in. I always say that.
It's awesome. Awesome.
All right. So now Ryan Deiss, he is probably one of the biggest names on the internet. So in my picture, it was those two. Remember?
I was going to use Janet Embrace Johnson for you embracing your little social media internet marketing guys.
We'll have to put those pictures in the
show notes. Yeah.
There you go. Well, you guys will see the pictures in the show notes. And anyway, so oh, that's funny. He's talking about proposing to first marriage. That is funny. Anyway, so he's talking about Ryan Deiss when he's Ryan, R-A, I said B, but Ryan. He basically is talking about how you don't propose right away when you meet a girl. You know, takes some time. So you got to build the relationship. So what we're talking about here is, you know, breaking down kind of email marketing and bringing them into your email campaign. And I'm really going to go brief on this because we are real, you know, we want to be tight on our time. So you want to show them your best stuff. And this is interesting. So Terry, you and I, for instance, we have the email campaign. And we could bring them back to old podcasts, back to old blog posts in the email by showing them your best stuff. You know, we think, oh, we have to always do new stuff. No, show them your best stuff, the things that have converted the best, the things you know the most people were interested in. When you bring people on board on an email sequence, show them your best stuff and bounce them around to some different things just to show your authority before you start trying to sell to them.
It's great advice. As a guy that's building and just started his email newsletter, right?
Exactly. So you want to do that for at least your first 3 emails. Turning your strangers into friends is what he was talking about. So just showing them your best stuff, and at the bottom, doing a PS and planting a thought for the next email. So yeah, so it's, you have the content, you have some information. P.S. Watch for the next email where I'm going to be sending you this show recording of blank, or you know what I mean, or however you want to word it. But it's a P.S. and making them think about, hey, you know what? I want to see that next email. And the sequencing, there's a lot with the sequencing. You should have. He says the whole engagement sequence should happen within the first 3 to 7 days. So you're not just sending. You want to stay top of mind right at the beginning, or they're going to forget who you are. They're going to put you in spam. You don't want to be sending only once a month. You want to be sending much more often than that, but especially in the beginning. Plant that seed and then follow through.
I already blew it. I sent my first email last Monday. It's now Friday. I was planning on sending my next one on Monday, so 2 weeks. There was this information when I needed it. Dang it.
Well, you know what? It's easy enough, though. You've got enough content. Put out an email and,
I can put out an email every second for the rest of my life. Content he gets.
But then at the end, now you kind of want to convert them to, creating that sale conversion. You want to always know your goal at the end. And then at the end, you start putting, and he had an exact sequence, but I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But he basically was talking about, if they haven't taken any action on things, then you start going, okay, surprised you haven't taken any action, and you start building the scarcity. So this would relate to, for instance, if you launch a program, launch a product, and you have it on a sale price and that scarcity thing. I'm sure we've all been targeted with that. If you signed up for anybody's internet marketing stuff, the price is going to go up on Friday. Are you sure you don't want to take advantage of this? Blah, 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 blah. And a lot of, there's even timers on sales pages and that kind of thing, the countdown timers. So it's just taking that action. And then, he even put in that his last chance email will be asking them three words. Are you still there?
Nice.
Which is kind of interesting.
Are you still? No, I tuned you out a long time ago.
Exactly.
I knew you were going to be a jackass about sending me this stuff. If I wanted it, I would have bought it already. Thank you for asking. Don't spit that out.
So it was very interesting, segmenting it and, making sure that you segment it into different areas. It really was a big, long. His was very long. It was very, very good. You could do, I believe it was followupmachine.com. Ooh, that was long though. /3-part-email-template. There you go. So.
Get on that. What? Yeah.
But you can get this email template, his full, how to do it, the sequence, and the email template with that.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll put it in the show notes. All right, so that was Ryan Deiss. Now we need to get into the second gal that really hit me hard, okay? This gal is named Melissa, and it's interesting because I've been on her website, and I have already used her stuff. She taught even about accounting and how she does her taxes, and I'm like, because she teaches to entrepreneurs, but she also has a Pinterest program. She has 3 training programs, and that's all she does, okay? She doesn't have clients. She is literally just selling her training programs, and she set up a funnel through webinars, and she automates them. And then it's all Facebook ads to webinar, to automated webinars, to the sales product. I mean, beautiful, beautiful.
I want this chick to run my life. That would be awesome.
Exactly.
That would be great.
Well, and the other thing is, it's converting her $1,000 to $2,000 daily.
That's, yeah, as an added bonus, because I figured if that was all she was doing, she might be actually making money doing it too. Who knew?
So her and Tim, oh, sorry, Tim. I got to figure out your name. We're going to put it in the show notes. Tim with Leadpages, he has the podcast. Those two sat down and just kind of had a fire, they call it a fire chat.
Fireside chat.
You got it. So they just chatted about webinars and how to do it. And she just basically, instead of taking them directly to the opt-in, a lot of times what they were saying they do is take them to the blog posts. So once again, it's kind of going back to some of the things we were talking about before. I know we talked about Ezra Firestone and his marketing method. They take them to a blog. They do a video to grab their attention. Then they remarket to a blog post. Then they do the sale. So instead of just, and that's what this was talking about too, they do a lot with, if you have a pixel, that little pixel code we've talked about. If you don't know what we're talking about, shoot me an email, because you need to have a pixel. Have a pixel code on that blog post, and then they take them there, and then they can retarget the people that have been to that blog post, and they've already built that trust. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is through video on the front end also. So they were talking about that. Then they retarget with the webinar registration. It's kind of a two-step process versus just direct to the webinar, because so many people are doing that. We're kind of getting inundated with it. So it's a softer approach. Everybody wants to do just put out, buy me now.
Right.
And it's not the way to do it on Facebook. I run multiple Facebook ad campaigns, and it does work at times. Yes, the direct approach, it can work, but a softer way of doing it is multiple touch process is what it's called.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it goes back to the earlier point about you don't ask someone to marry you in the first meeting. You just don't. Mm-hmm. So, and
you're so right.
We're so into adding value and adding content and giving more. So I like the idea of, hey, if you like this, you're going to like this. And if you like this, we're going to go into a deeper dive right here. You're going to want to go over here. And then, oh, you didn't get enough here, buy this, right? So by the time they get to being sold, they've already got enough information to say, man, this person knows what they're talking about, and I like them. So they're worth giving them my money to. Not my money to. Is that a sentence?
Yeah, no, you got it. You're exactly right. So they have it where they segment it too. So she has a great segmentation where they have their system. Drip is the system they talked a lot about because Leadpages just bought it. They have a system where people that attended and people that didn't attend get different emails. And it's all automated, 100%.
That makes sense.
That's pretty much, and then we also talked about getting more people on that webinar. And it goes back to, remember when we talked about that now they have that bot that can go directly to your messenger.
Okay.
Versus an email campaign.
Yeah.
95% open rate on the bot messenger.
Is that thing live yet?
Yeah. Well, not ours, but we should get it live.
We're not famous, right?
We're going to do it. No, we're going to do the live. We're going to test the bot for this show. So we should have had it ready to go because I could have given the information. But we are going to get going. And then anybody that wants to keep up on our episodes, there you go. You'll be part of our little bot world.
Bots. Listen, you little bots.
It's very new. It's a very new thing.
Very body.
So that's kind of cool. That would be a great way to get people to your email, though, or to your webinar. Sorry, hey, we're starting in 5 minutes, and it goes directly on your Facebook Messenger, and you're sitting on Facebook. Oh yeah, I forgot about that webinar.
No, perfect. I was just thinking about going to sit around and watch somebody's webinar.
You got it. You never know. You never know. So let's see. The Evergreen Funnel by Tim was a converted webinar to 42222. So you had to text that converted webinar.
I wonder if it still works.
Number was 44222. Not sure. Terry's trying to know.
You know me. I'm a man of action.
You got it. So that gives kind of what the breakdown of what she talked about. Clay, the CEO of Leadpages did talk a lot about drip funnels and just the new programs with Leadpages. They have a lot. They have Center, they have Drip, and then they have drip certifications and all sorts of things going on. And their drag and drop for Leadpages is much smoother than the old way of doing Leadpages. I mean, you can build sales pages in 10 minutes, if you know your colors, and you can drag and drop. It's beautiful. So they really have a good system.
That is cool. Was that number 44222?
Yeah.
Yeah. No worky work now. So never mind.
44222.
Yeah. It's a lead digit identifier not recognized.
Interesting.
Converted webinar was the thing. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
I haven't done a lot of these, so I should probably check them. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because you want to capture the audience while you're in front of the audience, and that's a special deal for them, not for everybody that's talking about them.
Very interesting. Well, they're having a webinar today. Leadpages is talking about the whole event, and by today, when the people are listening, when Ernie,
a couple of weeks ago.
Ernie listens,
when Ernie's out here paying attention.
And speaking of E, I have one more I want to finish up with because this was my favorite by far.
Really?
Ezra Firestone. Well, he's the man. He is the man.
Well, how could he not be? His name's Ezra.
It starts with an E. Exactly. We've got Ernie. We've got... But Ezra is amazing with Facebook ads, and he is the third largest purchaser of Facebook ads.
What?
Yes, $20,000 a day he spends.
Holy cow!
So he spent over $7 million last year, but his company did $25 million in sales.
Decent ROI.
And this was one of his biggest products right now. It's a women over 55, I think, or maybe my age, 45. I'm not that old, but I don't know. Talking about, it's a skincare line about embracing your wrinkles. I'm like, no, But anyway, done very well because what they're doing is bringing them. He has done it through video. Most of it is through video. And he said touch is way taking over. So let me fly through this because I loved his stuff, and I think a lot of people could get a lot out of this. 33% that showed interest on mobile convert on desktop. So important. I'm actually changing up my ad campaigns that I have coming up to do this. So basically what he's saying is their first touch should be on mobile, meaning like that video to draw them in. But then when you're retargeting, if it's retargeting the website, retargeting the video viewers, the conversion actually happens on bigger screens, especially for e-commerce, because I think they don't necessarily know what they're buying on a small phone and they want to double check it. I don't know the reasoning, but he said most of the conversion, 67% switch over to a tablet or a desktop.
Interesting.
So you can change your Facebook marketing, to that, to break it down. So that's, if you're doing any e-commerce type thing, something to definitely think about. And he said people move to the bigger device to purchase. And they need multiple touch points before the conversion. So there's acquisition, retargeting, and then loyalty. And they do a whole feed afterwards for upselling other products after the fact of purchasing the first product too, which makes a lot of sense.
Heck yeah.
And the best top of funnel is video, video, video. 75% of the video ads is the top lead.
It's consistent. We've had so much conversation about the importance of video the last couple of months, and it's only growing.
I know. So he talked about just 79% by 2018. Social video had 1,200% more shares than text. through, let's see, I'm just looking at what else he had that was super important. I think that was the biggest thing, but he just said, a demo of the product. If you have we're going to launch a campaign for the jewelry client where they're demoing the product, and then that bit in a video, and then we'll retarget, in different ways that we need to. So think about your product, and if you could break it down and do a demo, it's even better.
Vincenzo Landino was on our show, probably episode 59 or 60. He gave a great philosophical overview of video. Tom Lawrence was on our show, probably episode 63, gave some excellent hands-on actions to take regarding video. So video.
Yeah, completely agree. Yep, and it's just only growing. So that's basically it. I loved Ezra's. I think that's, one more thing, just to FYI. He said no right column. He's never converted on the right column, the right-hand bar ads. So you can turn those off. And he's never converted, and I don't either. I always turn those off too. There were a couple others. I don't mean to miss them, but we do have a timeline here. So I loved this event. We will have show notes, and I've seen some other people putting out some things too. So if we find it, we can put it into our show notes also, because I know there's been some blog posts written about the converted event. And if this interested you, definitely catch the next event in Minneapolis. It's always, I believe, October each year. And Clay Collins is so well connected. It's always great speakers.
Awesome. Just an update. Vincenzo is episode 57. Tom Lawrence was episode 63. So perfect. Very, very cool. All right. So Ernie, we can be found and hung out with at businessgrowthtime.xyz. That is where our cool kids in the Facebook group all are hanging out. You should join us.
We're over 500 now.
I saw that. I was going to have like a big deal. And then
I know. And then it kind of passed and whoa,
That's fascinating. So you can hang out with us there. You can also find all 67 of these episodes, well, soon to be 67 once this one gets up to the site, at businessgrowthtime.com. We have a YouTube channel. We've got all the past I don't know about all the past episodes because some of the ones we did on Blab aren't there, right? And actually, some of the ones we've done on Blab, the videos are gone. And by some, I mean
we are fixing
that. One.
We're fixing that right now. I have my gal going through the...
Oh, and just pulling the video out?
We're pulling them off the blog post. Because I noticed that the other day. I'm like, they're all dead.
They're all dead. Well, shocker. When the company goes out of business, you were talking about Vine earlier. When the company goes out of business, all of the content you created with that company goes with them.
Bye-bye.
It's how it works.
Gary, keep on copies of everything. I know.
That's crazy. So we also have a YouTube channel, and so you can go check that out. And we're adding little vignette videos to that as we speak, which is kind of fun. And we do this for a podcast. So as pretty as Janet is and as ruggedly good looking as I'm not, you could just listen to us. That would be good for you too. And they can do that at businessgrowthtime/iTunes. And for all the cool kids that rock Androids like I do, we're on Stitcher too. And what's this Libsyn thing? You keep talking about Libsyn.
Libsyn's where we host.
No, it's just a site. No, nobody cares about that.
They can go there too. Yep, that's a link too, but it just feeds to all the hosting that feeds to all the other places.
It's the aggregator.
Look at what Terry knows about podcasting, and he's been with me for...
Hey, honey, it's like the fairies in my house that do the laundry. I just throw clothes around.
Magically spreads out.
It's just all of a sudden the clothes. You've seen that video, right? That is one of the funniest videos on the web.
That's great.
I leave boxes all over the table in the morning and it cleared up.
I do a podcast and somehow it's all over the place. I don't know.
I do this number. I bring a genie and it just pops right on. It's great. I don't know. So funny.
So we'll end on that note, but thank you very much, Ernie, and we will talk to you later.
Bye-bye.